Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Turner Tales. This video is our review of the MSC Seaside, which was the ship that we sailed with when we went on our cruise back in April this year. Yes, it's taken me quite a while to get all these videos out as per usual, but hopefully, this is the last of the cruise videos, and I will have just one video left, I think. It was just a day in Miami when we got back from the cruise before we flew back. But like I say, this video is just me giving you an overview of what we thought of the ship and the different amenities and the cruise overall. So we went on the MSC Seaside, like I've just said, and the cruise itself was a 4-night Bahamas cruise, which involved the first full day was a day at sea, the second full day was a day at Nassau, and then the third day was a day at their private island, Ocean Key. The cruise overall cost us £1,200. That was for all four of us, for full 4 nights, and that was, pretty much all inclusive. Full board anyway, so you get all your food included and also all fountain drinks and coffees and teas. But on top of that, we also paid for their premium drinks package. We did that mainly because alcohol on cruises is notoriously expensive, and we wanted to have the option to drink on board because you weren't able to take any alcohol on the ship yourselves. Other cruise lines, you are normally allowed to take, I think it's 1 bottle of wine or 4 or 6 cans of beer on board with you when you go onto the ship. But MSC, you're not allowed to take anything. So the premium drinks package, which I will get into in a bit more later, allowed you to have 15 alcoholic drinks per day, but it was unlimited on soft drinks, specialty coffees, any of the non-alcoholic cocktails you could have as well. The only thing with buying a drinks package is if you're buying it for, both myself and Steve had the adult premium drinks package, but that also meant you have to buy a drinks package for everybody in the cabin. So that also meant that we had to buy the kids drinks package for the girls. It worked out okay in the end because it meant that Lauren could have the bottled water rather than having to have fountain water, which I'm guessing would not taste as nice. So she was able to just have a bottle of water whenever she wanted it. And Erin was able to have all of the non-alcoholic cocktails that she could drink, but she only had the strawberry daiquiri, the virgin strawberry daiquiri. She didn't fancy the other two. She should have tried them really, but she didn't. But it did mean she could have whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted. It also meant, they didn't drink them, but we had soft drinks, so cans of Coke and Sprite and all of that you could have as well. Like I say, that was unlimited. So that was what was included in our 1,200. Also, the room that we had, it was an outside room without a balcony. So we had a porthole only. I think it would cost us about £200 to upgrade to have a balcony. We did consider it. We were thinking about doing it because we've never been on a cruise and had a balcony, so it would have been quite nice, but we did think with having young children, it's probably best not to. And the room itself was more than adequate with it being just a porthole. So again, I'll go into the rooms and everything a little bit later. So there's a big fat pigeon on the fence over there. Okay then, so the way I was going to do this was to go through what we liked on the cruise, and then the very few things that we didn't like on the cruise. First off, I would like to say we were blown away with this cruise. It was amazing. The food was amazing. The people were amazing. I'm splitting it up, but there's not much in the not like pile, so that will be a very short section. So in terms of the things that we did enjoy, the main thing for us was the buffet restaurant. It was fantastic. We never struggled to find something to eat. To be fair, I probably overate. There was so much nice food, both like American style. You got your burgers, your hot dogs, fries on the grill station, to healthier options. There were salads and cold cuts and cheeses. There was always a wide selection of breads, pizza. The MSC Cruises, I mean, MSC itself is run by an Italian company, and they say that the pizza is the best pizza on the sea on the MSC Cruises. And to be fair, I am inclined to agree. They were amazing pizzas. I mean, considering we only had the margarita pizza, I'm not too sure. I can't remember whether there was a vegetarian option the one time, but even just the margarita pizzas, they were absolutely gorgeous. So couldn't complain about those at all. But then there were also different types of bread. You know, you got your focaccias, you'd got, you know, there's garlic bread. There was just any sort of bread you could imagine there was on there, which is great if you eat bread. But if you're like me and it bloats you up a little bit, let's just say I felt huge by the end of this holiday. The other foods, there were there was a lot of Indian-based meals as well. So there was a dal every night on the buffet. There was like a dal recipe, some lentils with poppadoms and naan breads, and I think there was also like another type of curry as well. There was always a couple of different curries. There were other nationality foods as well. Again, sometimes it was a bit limited for us in terms of they would have meat in them, so we didn't eat those. But what we could eat, we did eat. I mean, I think it was day 3, I think it was. I found some amazing spring rolls, and I literally ate, I think, 10 of them in one meal. Steve's going mad at me. I'm like, I can't help it. They're just so nice. Spring rolls with a sweet chili dipping sauce. I mean, come on, they were so gorgeous. So yeah, and the desserts, I don't know whether you've seen the videos, but the kids did a rating of the desserts. Sometimes I think they were a little bit harsh, and I think it was more to their taste rather than the actual quality of the desserts. But to me, pretty much every dessert I tried was really nice. I mean, some, yeah, you preferred than others, but I enjoyed most of the desserts. So for us, the buffet food was absolutely amazing. There were, like I said, there were fountain drinks. I think there were like juices, fountain water, coffee and tea. We did have the regular coffee in the morning, but then I found out where the specialty coffees were. So I did have a couple of like cappuccinos and espressos and things like that. So moving on from food, we will go on to drink. Like I say, we had the premium drinks package, which gave us 15 alcoholic drinks. And with the premium one, we could pretty much basically have any of the alcoholic drinks on offer. So there was a basic drinks package, which I think gave you any alcoholic drink up to $10, I think it was. But ours, I don't know, I can't remember whether it was $15 or whether it was $20, but it pretty much covered anything on the menu in terms of cocktails, spirits, the wine and beer. The only thing that it didn't really cover, I think, was champagne, some of the more expensive champagnes and the more expensive wines. But to be fair, when we had wine, we just asked for just the house red, just asked for red wine, and they just poured the closest bottle to them, basically. But in terms of the cocktails, they had a wide variety of cocktails, all proper top shelf items in terms of the alcohol that was being used on them. There were both frozen cocktails and also your proper mixed cocktails. Like I was enjoying the espresso martinis. I might stick a little clip in there of me enjoying the espresso martinis because I did like them very much. But then there were also like the slushy type cocktails as well, like your pina coladas and can't remember what the other ones were. They've got different names for them. I think one was called a volcano one or something, and that was really nice. That was kind of, yeah, it was like,
oh, was it in the lava?
That's lava flow, that was it. And it was kind of a mix of, I think it was like the strawberry daiquiri mix that they had, and then there was like a coconutty pina colada mix, and I really liked that one. And
wasn't that like one of your first drinks?
I think it was, yeah, I think it was my first drink. I think it's because it said like coconutty flavour to it, so I quite like that. Sorry. Woo! The screen keeps on going off. I don't know why it started doing that. I need to have a look at my settings. But anyway, so the drinks were amazing. I mean, you think at the time, 15 drinks, is that going to be enough? We were struggling to use the full 15 drinks quota by the end of the day. I mean, it ended up Steve was ordering like double, triple brandies at the end of the night just to drink the allocated 15 drinks. And there was a few nights I had like a double gin and tonic at the end of the night. So yeah, you think it's not much, but when you're drinking all day, but you're not drinking constantly all day. I'm sure you could have, but you've got so much other stuff going on. You struggle to use all 15. One of the other things that we really liked was the room. The room was a decent size. So, like I say, we had an outside room with a porthole. It contained a double bed, and then there was a sofa bed, which came down into a bunk bed. The only thing with that I would have liked more would have been if you could have put the bunk bed away during the day, because it took up all the space down that one end of the room. I think
and if you kept on banging her head on it.
And Lauren kept on banging her head on it. I think if you were just two people in there, they wouldn't, the beds wouldn't have been made up. It would have just been a sofa bed. But we couldn't figure out how to get it down. I mean, we probably could have asked somebody, but we just left it. It was fine. It meant you didn't have to put it back up then on the night time. So, yeah, so the bunk beds were up constantly. You had a TV, plenty of storage for your clothes, perfect bathroom. You couldn't really fit more than two people in there, one in the shower and one actually using the sink and the toilet. But yeah, it's not the most huge of bathrooms, but it's still bigger than what we've experienced on other cruises that we've been on. But again, because this was a room for 4, that might have been the reason, whereas before we've only been in a room for 2 people. So it was probably smaller because of that. And the next thing that we really liked were the people working on the ship. They were all so nice, always happy and smiley, always polite. I didn't see anybody being grumpy or, standoffish at all. You walk down the corridor, and if there was one of the members of the team walking towards you, they would always stop and move to the side of the corridor and let you go past, and they'd always say good morning, good afternoon, how are you, hope you're enjoying your cruise, so they were always very pleasant. So yeah, big shout out to all the people working on the cruise. They were all amazing, and trying to make sure that you had the best time possible. The rooms were cleaned every day, the beds were made up every day, and then they were turned down of an evening as well. So you got the full room service on your rooms. You could have had room service, I believe, but we never did it. We never had the room service, so we didn't take advantage of that one. And then what?
Hello, it's me, Jan Lakampa.
Okay, stop it. So
I'm barely in the video.
I haven't finished it yet. You can do your bit in a minute. So the other thing that we really enjoyed was the private island. Now, most cruises that you go on, they will have their own private island. I know I think it was Royal Caribbean we've been on before, they had their own island. Literally a minute. Yeah, so most cruises will have their own private island that you stop off at. This one was called Ocean Key. There were, I can't remember, it was 2 or 3 bars on the island, so you could use your drinks credits on the island as well. So it wasn't the full menu of cocktails and drinks that you'd have on the ship, but there was enough to choose from, and we enjoyed them as much on the island as we did on the ship. Food wise, there were food trucks over by the beach that we went on to, and then there was the main eating hall, which was kind of like the big buffet style restaurant on the island, which we actually ate at. There were, I can't remember what sort of offers there were on the food trucks. It was like fries and burgers and things. And it was the same in the food hall. The only thing is, on something I didn't mention as part of the buffet, with the burgers and hot dogs and things like that, they only have like the meat options out, but you can ask and they will freshly make a veggie burger for you. So me and Steve did have a couple of veggie burgers whilst we were on the cruise, notably on the island. So when we went up to the buffet, I just asked if they could make us a veggie burger, and they did. And it's, at the end of the day, it's fresh because they're making it freshly for you. The guy was so nice because I was standing there waiting. He kept on going, yes, it'll be here in a minute. It'll be here in a minute. I'm like, it's fine. It's got to be cooked. I understand it's got to be cooked. So it was about 10 minutes, I think I was stood there waiting. But, at the end of the day, like I say, it's fresh. Things like the fries, literally trays of the fries were just coming out constantly. Because, we went when we were on the island, we pretty much went at the busiest lunchtime. I think it was about 12:30, no, 11:30, 12ish when we went to the buffet. So everybody was coming for something to eat. So at least you knew when you actually, because like we got the burgers and then I collected the fries after I'd got the burgers. So at least I knew that they were fresh, they were hot, they were really nice. And then they had little pots of like your sauces and things that you could pick up. So the island was lovely. When we came off the island, again, there's a video and I'm going to try and put a playlist together of all the cruise videos that I've done. So on the island, they also had a conservation centre. So when we were coming off the island, because we ate, and then the kids didn't really want to go back to the beach. They wanted to go back to the ship because of them really wanting to go back on the slides and things. So we ate and then we came off. But as we came off, we went and visited the conservation centre. There wasn't much in there at that time, but I think like within the next few months, years, they'll have a lot more because they're trying to cultivate the coral reef. So there were lots of tanks with basically just a teeny tiny little bit of coral in them that they're now trying to grow so they can put them back into the ocean. There was like a little video as well showing, talking about conservation and keeping the oceans nice. So and the last thing to note about the private island, when you're sailing away, make sure you stand on the top deck and watch as they're sailing away because there's a lighthouse on the island and the lighthouse had a light show to music as you sailed away. So that was really nice to watch as well. Again, that is also on the video from the island. So I am now going to call the kids in so they can talk about what they really enjoyed on the cruise. Hang on a second. Okay.
Move out the way. You're not allowed in the spot.
Okay.
Be quiet.
Well, do you want me to completely move out the way?
Yeah.
There you go. Stage is yours.
No. Okay, what I liked was the pools and the water slides. I also did like the food. It was very tasty. There was this water slide with like this float thing. And then there's also a racing one, and then this slower one. That was a bit slow. That's the first one we went on. The first time it is a bit fast, but when you get used to it, it's a bit slower. And that's all I need to say.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
Got it. Well, I thought she was going to be talking for much longer than that, but yeah. Like she said, there were 3 slides. One of them was, it was brown. There was a brown one and a blue one. The blue ones were the racing ones, so it was 2 slides. And they were quite fast. The brown one was a bit more twisty-turny, so it went a bit slower. I actually got stuck because there wasn't much water coming down, so I completely slowed down. And then there was the 3rd slide, which was like she said, you were on like a little raft boat, inflatable boat thing going down, which was quite fast. And they enjoyed that one as well. But yeah, I think the slides, like I say, both on the day when we were on the island and the day when we were at Nassau, they both wanted to come back onto the ship so that they could go onto the slides, which suited me because it meant I could go and sit on the sun lounger and read my book. But and yeah, the food, again, they really loved the food. So yeah, favourite things, obviously, food. Food and water slides, there you go. Right then, so that's all the things that we enjoyed. Like I say, things that we didn't enjoy, there's not much. So the things that we didn't like so much, the main thing was the restaurant. And the only reason is because there wasn't much option. I'm sure the food was amazing there. And the service, as soon as we got in there, the lady who was serving us, she was really nice. So again, can't fault the service on it. But there just wasn't much choice for vegetarians. So we went on the 2nd night. The first day we missed it because they gave us, I think it was 5:15, I think our time was to go to the meal. And on the sailing away day, we didn't actually sail until just after 5 o'clock. So we wanted to be on deck watching us sail away from port. So we missed our dinner slot for the first day, which wasn't a problem because we just went to the buffet. So we did make the effort, got dressed up, and went down to the main restaurant on the second day. And we got there, and the only option was like a portobello mushroom dish for the main. Well, I would have loved it. And to be fair, there was another person on the table that we were sat at, and he'd ordered it, and it did look quite nice, and I would have quite liked it. But Steve and the girls wouldn't have liked it. Server again, she was really nice, and she was saying, there's a pasta dish. So, if you want, we can try and do the pasta dish without the meat in it, basically make it vegetarian. But it was just like, yeah, we're not that keen. So we left. We just said, no, thank you. We'll go back to the buffet. So we did leave. She was lovely about it, so that wasn't an issue. So we just went back to the buffet and ate at the buffet. And then we checked the menu again for the next couple of nights, because you can look it up for each day of the cruise. And again, there wasn't much option. So we just made the decision to eat at the buffet. Like I say, it's nothing against them in terms of what the quality of the food would have been like. I'm sure it was lovely. But there just wasn't much vegetarian choice. So that might have been something to maybe look at. But again, there was an option. It can't be helped if we don't like that option. So the other thing to note was the entertainment. We went to the theatre to try and catch some of I think it was a magician. And we were a bit late getting in there, so it had already started, and we had to stand at the back. And we were like, well, we'll have a look, see what it's like, and then see if we can find a seat. But we watched a bit of it, and yeah, we weren't that impressed, so we kind of came away from that. And then the only other one, excuse me, that we saw was like a Michael Jackson one, but it was saying that it was a bit more adult and not suitable for little children, because I think there were bits where there were people coming out into the crowd in costume and stuff. It was a bit scary, so we decided to give that one a miss. Around the ship, there were people doing singing or DJs like on the main atrium, which was fine. Steve said he didn't like it, but at the end of the day, it's singers. Most of it's all covers, but fine if you want to sit there at the bar and have a sing along. It was great. We did do one of the quizzes as well. So, I mean, I'm saying it's bits that we don't like. Mainly the main entertainment in the theatre wasn't really our thing. So again, nothing against the ship. It's just something that wasn't really our thing. But then we did, we joined in on both a game, an more adult game, where you had to guess the answer that most people would guess. But us being British and most of the people being there American, our guesses were completely different to theirs. Kids laugh because the only one that we got right was the one where they were saying, what's a man's favourite part of a woman? And of course, seeing as Steve's a boob man, he said boobs, and that was the correct answer. So make of that as you will. And then the other game that we took part in was in the kids club. And that was just kind of I think it was, what was it? World record game or something. And they've got different world records, and you had to say which one had held the world record. So, I mean, it was all right, and the kids had fun. It went on a little bit, it dragged, but, it was a bit of fun. It was a bit of a shame because it was mainly just the kids that were actually in the kids club. There weren't that many adults there. So we were kind of all sat there looking a bit, but, the team in the kids club did an amazing job. And, the kids did go to the kids club, and they did have a good time when they were in there. So can't moan about that either. The only thing was the other children, I think some of them monopolised some of the activities in the kids club. Like Lauren said, the boys basically ran to the games consoles and were on the games consoles the whole time, so they didn't get a look in on those. So just little things like that, really. But I mean, again, it's not something that can be helped. It's other people. And then that comes on to the last thing. Again, it's not something that MSC can sort. It's a people problem. It was the other passengers. Not all of them. It's just some of them were a bit rude. And again, not really to us, to the people that are serving. It's like, say please and thank you. If you're ordering a drink, say please, say thank you when you're giving your drink. Don't be rude. It's just basic manners at the end of the day. So that to me, it grated on me after a while. It's like, you could at least say please when you're ordering something, or somebody comes to clear your table whilst you're there, you know, you just say thank you. You know, it's not that difficult, is it? But I think some people just seem a bit entitled and like, you know, these people are here to serve me sort of thing. Yeah, there might be, but, you know, still be nice about it. But yeah, that being said, again, I think I've rambled on a little bit. We had a great time. The cruise was amazing, and the kids do want to go and do another one. So I'm pretty sure at some point we'll be doing another cruise, maybe when it's my 50th birthday, which is not that long away. But we shall see. Yeah, we had the best time. Like I say, the people on board, the staff were amazing. MSC, I'd say I probably enjoyed this cruise more than other cruises that we've been on, but other cruises have been a bit shorter and different atmosphere. But yeah, we had a great time. We'll do another one at some point, I'm sure. So we definitely would recommend sailing with MSC if you want to do a cruise. I think a lot of people are put off because it is one of the cheaper cruises, but you know, unless you're doing something like a Disney cruise, there's not that much difference in it. So, you know, at the end of the day, your food is going to be the same quality, really, whichever cruise you go on. It's all, you know, like I say, with us, it was the buffet food, and it's the same sort of thing you'd get anywhere. But yeah, we really enjoyed. Just a quick thing. First, if you have enjoyed this video or you've enjoyed our other cruise videos, please give us a like and a subscribe. And also, we may have booked a very last minute trip to which we are going on tomorrow, Friday. Yeah, we're going back to America. We're going back to Florida, 10 nights. So yeah, there might be a few more Florida videos coming out once I've finished doing these ones. But thank you for watching, and we will catch you again soon. Thank you. Bye.